Hi there, and welcome back to Valley por Vida. Well, the prices of vehicles have been going up, and that can definitely change the way that we shop for a car or truck nowadays. Luckily, we were able to speak with an automotive expert to learn a few tips and tricks to keep in mind when beginning our vehicle shopping journey. Go ahead and take a look.
Good morning. My name's Scott Hull. I'm from swapalease.com. We're headquartered in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I help run and manage a lease transfer website where people come to get in and out of automotive leases. We've been at this now for a couple of decades, and we've been able to help out many consumers on both sides of the equation, helping them save money, get out of their leases, and helping them find great deals for leases to take over. Leasing's been very popular over the last several years when it comes to automotive financing, and I want to be very clear that don't let leasing scare you off by any means. All leasing is at the end of the day is an alternative form of financing a vehicle and can be a great tool for consumers, a great way for them to save money. Occasionally people find themselves stuck in leases, and when they do, and if they need or want out, Swap-A-Lease is a great answer to help them do so. It can be very expensive to get out of a lease through more traditional measures. For instance, if you need to buy out that lease, typically it can be very expensive for the consumer, and that's why transferring a lease can be such a great option for them. Not only does it save money for the person that wants to get out, but can be a great deal for the person that wants to get in. Here recently, with used car prices up, we are seeing some different dynamics in the marketplace, which is very interesting, something we haven't seen before, and we do have a lot of experience at this because we've been at this for a couple of decades, and it's very interesting recently. With car prices up, consumers have more options than ever to get out of those leases. Basically, what we're seeing with car prices being up, which it's been kind of a double whammy, if you will, for consumers over the last year, 18 months, somewhere in that range. Of course, the first problem all stemmed from COVID and lack of production on vehicles. And what we're seeing presently is problems in the supply chain with microchips and what have you, and that's really slowing down production of automobiles. And what basically ends up happening, it's a domino effect at the end of the day. As less new cars are produced, the demand, of course, has remained fairly constant, and people are needing to look for other ways to obtain vehicles. Of course, one of the first options they're going to look for is just used vehicles or vehicles on the used side of the equation. And of course, with less new cars being produced, the prices on those are going up as well. Right now is really a great time if you need to sell your vehicle, but it can be a little bit of an expensive time if you're looking to get into a vehicle. A good piece of evidence on that, again, back on the Swap-A-Lease website, something that we've noticed over the last 30 to 60 days is just a huge increase in buyer demand, which tells me that consumers are out there looking for alternative channels to find vehicles. I would really encourage viewers to go to the swapalease.com website, and our website address is simply 3 words run together, swapalease.com. We have a ton of information on the site about automotive leasing in general, and of course, information more specific to lease transferring.
We hope you keep in mind these helpful tips and tricks when shopping for your next vehicle. And if you'd like more information, feel free to visit the website on your screen. All right, well, with COVID-19, it's important to use good products and properly disinfect your home, office, business, school, or other work areas. An effective disinfectant, remains one of the most powerful weapons against the fight in this pandemic, as well as against other infectious diseases. So today, we're introducing you to one product that can help you keep your family safe. Go ahead and take a look.
Hi, my name is Rain Guest, and I'm the founder and CEO of Our Water. And today we're going to have a discussion about a 1-minute disinfectant. Our Water was actually founded in Texas back in 2012. And we have a patented device that makes a one-step healthcare grade disinfectant and all-purpose cleaner out of salt water. And the disinfectant has a 1-minute contact time. It's actually effective against COVID in under 20 seconds. Sounds like a long time, but when you compare that to most of the products in the market that take 10 minutes, it's a very short amount of time. One of the main benefits of the products is that they're non-toxic. So many of the products, disinfectants and cleaners, contain respiratory irritants. And for people that are fighting asthma, COPD, and COVID, which is a respiratory illness, you really want to avoid products that can, cause additional respiratory irritation. Let's talk about disinfectants in general, right? There's so many different kinds of them. There's one-step disinfectants where you actually have to clean the surface before you use them. There's disinfectants, most of them take 10 minutes to work, which means that you would actually have to keep a surface wet for 10 minutes with that product in order for it to do its job. And what most people don't realize is for it to actually stay wet for 10 minutes, you usually have to reapply those products 2 or 3 times for that to happen. So what's been happening during the pandemic is the EPA put out this List N, and they just told people this blanket statement, hey, use a product that's on the List N. Well, nobody really knows how to use those products correctly though. So as a society, we are conditioned to just spray and wipe surfaces, right? But if you spray and wipe surfaces, you're not giving the product enough time to work. So basically, we really haven't been killing COVID on surfaces effectively. And we're also a society that touches surfaces. That's why washing our hands is so important. So if we have pathogens left behind on surfaces, whether it's COVID, cold, flu, MRSA, any of those other nasty bugs, when we touch those surfaces and then touch our face, because studies show that we touch our faces an average of 23 times an hour, we are going to potentially get sick from those left behind pathogens. So surface disinfection is just really extremely important. And when you have a product that has a shorter contact time, you can make it happen a lot faster. So in like schools and different places, can you imagine if we actually had to wait between classes 10 minutes for somebody to disinfect a surface? It wouldn't happen. Or if when somebody was disinfecting your office, if you couldn't sit at your desk for 10 minutes because you had to wait for a product to sit wet there for 10 minutes, it just doesn't happen. At the grocery store, when you go and grab your grocery cart, do you actually wait 10 minutes for that product to sit on the handle? No, nobody does. So we just need a better education process for disinfection in general, especially during a global pandemic. Well, we've had really good results. Some of our schools that have been using us since last year, they've remained in school full-time, learning in person, and they're not having COVID outbreaks. Car dealerships that are using us, before they implemented the technology, people were out sick all the time. Since they've started using it, nobody's out sick anymore. I guess it could be a coincidence, but most likely it's because we're actually effectively killing the germs. And the CDC is the first to say, germs don't move themselves, right? We have to move them, and whether they're moving by surfaces on equipment, whether they're moving because we're touching surfaces that have them, with our hands, and then we're moving them with our hands to other surfaces. And just think about face masks. We sit our face masks on these surfaces all the time in restaurants, on counters, and then we put it up to our face all day. And our eyes, nose, and mouth, that's how we get sick, by introducing germs into those passageways. So disinfection is so important.
Again, this 1-minute disinfectant is non-toxic and has been on the front lines helping kill the virus and fight off other diseases. For more information on our water, feel free to visit ourwater.com. All right, well, that's all of our time for now. Thanks again so much for joining us today, and be sure to tune in again tomorrow because we'll have tips and tricks for you to keep in mind so that you can shop safe when returning to in-person shopping this summer. We'll also have details on Capable Kids in the city of McAllen, what the group is up to, and how it benefits children in our Rio Grande Valley community. Plus, we're talking all about how one RGV native made it big in Hollywood and how he's inspiring those in his hometown today. Now, don't forget to follow our team on social media for behind-the-scenes sneak peeks at what we've got filming for the show. And, of course, you can always visit valleycentral.com if you'd like to watch today's segments over again. We've got all that and so much more tomorrow on Valley for Vida. We'll see you then.